Well, this aged like milk. As of the recording of this video, the referendum failed because stupid boomers and bad information. So basically, everything I say in this video is still pretty bang on. It's just more of a retrospective thing, rather than something for something that was about to happen. Regardless, enjoy the rant.
Alright, so it's gonna be an interesting couple of days for New Zealand. Why? Because over the next couple of days we'll find out the results of the referendums from the latest election of the cannabis reform and the Euthanasia Act, right? So basically what happened, for those of you that aren't familiar, is New Zealand had our election not too long ago, and along with voting for the election, we were also given forms in regards to a referendum as to whether we wanted to legalise euthanasia and whether we wanted to legalise fucking marijuana, right? Now, the cannabis reform bill is something I want to talk about, whereas the euthanasia one, I'm gonna keep my views to myself. Now, that may disappoint some people who want to hear my opinion, all 5 of you, but that one's a wee bit too fucking spicy for me, honestly. That's a whole kettle of fish along with the abortion argument I don't particularly want to deal with. Because 1, it's something I don't really know how to articulate properly, and 2, that's going to cause a fucking shitstorm I'd rather not deal with. But as far as the cannabis reform goes, right, now a lot of people would think that with me being straight edge, I'm fully against that shit and so on and so forth. Now, I've made videos on my opinions on this before. My opinion is pretty much the same as it's been since I sort of started looking into things a wee bit more. I'm actually all for it, and I voted yes on the reform. I do think it should be legalised in my country. The first thing is, I don't really think there are good arguments to legalise. I don't think there are any good arguments to keep it illegal. Mainly because most of the arguments in regards to keeping it illegal are what-ifs and based essentially on bullshit, realistically. A lot of arguments are based on slippery slope fallacies and so on and so forth. A lot of people are like, well, if it's legalised then it will lead to all this bad shit. Okay. Here's how it goes, right? We legalise that shit and it's going to be regulated. It's R18, it's only allowed to be consumed within your own home or your own property. No fucking out in public bullshit. It's the same as the whole alcohol ban in public, okay? You're not allowed to wander around getting sloshed off your face. You're not allowed to walk around in public smoking a joint. Like, you're not allowed to go down to the mall, toke up, whatever. It's to be done strictly in your own home. And as I say, most important part, just like booze, just like smokes, it's R18. Which will probably end up about as well as the whole booze and cigarettes thing. I can easily see a bunch of youngsters getting their hands on the shit because of adults being all good and basically going, there you go. Not saying that's a good thing, but it is what it is, and at least it's an attempt to put some controls and regulations on that shit. But the thing is, I really fucking hate the concept of prohibition. I think prohibition is a stupid fucking thing. Like, to me, prohibition's dumb. Prohibition makes criminals out of everyday people. Look at the laws now, right? You go to jail for marijuana and marijuana possession, which is fucking retarded. You know, someone goes to jail for murder, someone goes to jail for stealing, someone goes to fucking jail for possession of a plant because the law says, nope. You sit in jail, it's like, oh, what are you here for? Stab 3 people, what about you? Smoke the plant. They're not really comparable, are they? You murder some motherfucker, it affects them, it affects their family. You burgle someone's house, you're affecting them, you're affecting their family. You smoke a joint, you're putting shit into your own body and it really only impacts you, doesn't it? Prohibition makes criminals out of normal, everyday people. And it's dumb. It is dumb as fuck because you're putting people in jail for dubious fucking reasons. You're wasting taxpayer money on keeping people doing what they want to do with their own bodies in jail for bullshit reasons. And legalizing it would prevent that. Okay? It's like fucking, it was either Dee Snider or Frank Zappa who said it in front of the PMRC. Bad facts make bad laws, and bad facts made this law. And bad facts are keeping weed illegal in this country. Shit, I'd go one step further and say legalize everything, because then you can A, regulate everything, B, make sure people are using that shit sensibly, and C, help people break any habits that they may have. Shit, look at Portugal, look at the Netherlands. They're helping heroin addicts get clean because they've got the resources and they're allowed to because that shit's legalized over there. Over here, if you have anyone with a cocaine or a heroin addiction, they're essentially fucked. You know, again, prohibition, stupid, making criminals out of people who are doing shit to their own bodies. Now also, you've got another thing here where you make it legal. You're taking a lot of power away from your gangs. Your gangs aren't fucking making money off the stupid. Your gangs aren't standing over people. Your gangs aren't making money off of drugs and holding people to debts. Takes a bit of power away from them, doesn't it? So it's a sensible thing to do. I hear no good arguments against legalizing marijuana. As I say, most of your arguments are slippery slope fallacies. There's so much other things you can do instead of just bloody smoking it recreationally as well, right? Like, I have seizures, I wouldn't mind having, cannabis oil to help me control that shit. Which is a bit different to me going up, blazing up a J and going, hey, I'm straight edge except I smoke weed, which doesn't make any fucking sense whatsoever. That stops my brain from attacking itself. Even my brain doesn't like me. My brain attacks itself even when I'm medicated. This shit I've got now, it barely works. This shit could actually help me. It could help me fucking drive and live a semi-normal life more so than I do now. So, from a personal and an unbiased perspective, it needs to be legalized. There are no good reasons keeping it illegal, as I've said multiple fucking times in this video. Prohibition's stupid. It should be legalized. That's all there is to it. I'm Damian Skyfire. Till next time.